All right, guys. So today's product is one of those that I'd be surprised if Apple doesn't like completely lose their mind once they see that these are out there, because Apple's one of those companies, they are not a fan of if there's another product out there that looks similar to theirs. And the product we're going to talk about today, which is the Skullcandy Smokin Buds 360, really, I don't think there's any way around it. It looks exactly like the Beats Studio Buds and the Studio Buds Plus. And this is not one of those cases where you say that like all earbuds kind of look the same. These are eerily similar to those because they do have a very unique looking design. But the Smokin Buds 360 is a very inexpensive earbud. It says that they normally retail for 27 bucks, but everywhere that I see them, they're sitting at around $19. In fact, I have the XT model, which is basically one that you get from Walmart. It's the same features and everything like that. I did notice that this is a different color that's available other than the regular Smokin Buds 360, because in the regular Smokin Buds 360, it's available in black, white, and red. But with the XT model here, I have an orange version. It is a very low profile type earbud, and it is a difference from the other Smokin Buds, because the Smokin Buds, just the normal version, had the stem style design, where this is more the earbud style design. The case on here, very small. It is matte, so it doesn't pick up a whole lot of fingerprints. In fact, doesn't really pick up any fingerprints at all. And the earbuds use touch control, so it doesn't have the push button like the Beats Studio Buds have, so it does utilize touch controls. But it is sad to say that they don't give you control over everything. So you don't have volume control on these, you don't have the ability to go back to the previous track. You basically have play, pause, the ability to skip forward, and you can switch it between the 3 different EQ modes that they already have built in here, which is basically a music mode, a bass boost mode, and then a podcast mode. There is an app. I'm going to go ahead and say this is kind of pointless to even download the app because it does nothing. There's nothing that you can switch around. There's nothing that you can control. It just kind of gives you some information about your earbuds, and then that's it. So there's really no reason to download the app. But as far as some of the features that these do have, it does have Bluetooth 5.4, so it does have multi-point connection. So you are able to connect to more than one device at a time. And then that's it. That's really the only features that are on this earbud. This is really meant to not spend a whole lot of money and just be able to listen to music. If you are going to use them outdoors, it does come in with an IPX4 rating, so there is some water protection here. As far as what they include in the box, it does come with 3 sets of silicone ear tips, and the ear tips do match the earbuds. So in my case, the ear tips are a bright orange. There is no charging cable in here, but the case does charge with a USB-C cable, so they're just counting on you having your own. And in this price range, I'm okay with this. I don't like it when much more expensive earbuds don't include a charging cable, but I can kind of be okay with it, especially if I'm spending under 20 bucks. But speaking of the charging cable, battery life is decent. On a full charge, you can get around 7 hours on the earbuds, and with the charging case, you can get about 20 hours total. Now, the fast charging feature on here, I think is kind of interesting because we've seen some very impressive ones. But if you do happen to pick the earbuds up, a 10-minute charge will give you 1.75 hours on a 10-minute charge. So nothing very impressive, but like if you are going to the gym or you're going on a run or something like that, it's nice to know that a quick 10-minute charge, it will still give you just shy of 2 hours of use. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, I do feel like the mics on here are pretty decent, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a quick test here.
So here is a quick mic test outdoors using the Smokin Buds 360. I can definitely hear an AC unit off to the side. I can hear a little bit of traffic off to the side as well, but this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. Now the drivers that these are using are just custom 6mm drivers, so they're not like overly large, but given the size of the earbuds, I think that's okay. And the sound, for the most part, is pretty bumped up. It's pretty boosted. And I think that's kind of to be expected. This is going to be an earbud that's meant to appeal to, most normal consumers, which normally like boosted low end, some boosted treble, everything to kind of be pretty dynamic. And I will say that the bass does have some dominance here. It's not like overly done. It's not one of those where like it just destroys everything else. But I am going to say on certain genres like metal or anything where it starts to get a little bit chaotic, it can sound a little congested here. But the bass does have a nice punch to it. The sub bass, you can feel a little bit of a rumble. Again, obviously you could switch it into the bass boost mode, but I didn't really find it necessary. I feel like the regular mode, the regular EQ that it has right out of the box, definitely just, I think, again, is going to appeal to most people. Mids weren't forward or necessarily falling back. I feel like they kind of just left them alone. I didn't have any issues of hearing male or female vocalists, but it doesn't pick up as much detail as obviously the more expensive ones, the ones that have multiple drivers or the ones that are just tuned a little bit more precisely. But that's not a big hit, again, on a pair that's under 20 bucks. And then when it comes to the treble, I felt like the treble brought out the details enough. I don't know if it was because of the bass that these have, but I would say that the overall tone of these, it's pretty warm. It's not like overly warm. It's not just like this dark feeling earbud. Obviously, it's, again, pretty dynamic overall. It's a fun earbud. It doesn't get overly loud. It's not one of those that I feel like you could just blast your eardrums, and maybe that's a good thing, especially if you're looking for a pair of earbuds for your kids. I still feel like they get loud enough. It's just one of those that at times I felt like I wanted to kind of turn it up just like a notch or two more. And then when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, don't really expect anything special here either. It definitely made me feel like I was in a smaller room. Again, this can kind of go back to the bass that these have. It just kind of closes things in a little bit. But they still did a really good job being able to tell where different sounds were coming from. So my overall opinion is this: they're under 20 bucks. There's not really much that you can complain about. Yeah, there's no noise canceling. There's no smart sensors. The battery life is decent. The sound is decent. I do wish that the controls gave me control over everything, or at least I wish that I could go into the app and switch around some controls. But the app just really gives you no features at all for these. So I'm not really sure why this connected to the app. So kind of keep that all in mind. You're basically buying an earbud that maybe you want to take to the gym or take to the beach or just listen to around the house. It's just one of those, it's not going to block out everything around you. It's not going to just blow you away with features, but I think it's going to get you by when it comes to the sound. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Skullcandy Smokin Buds 360. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.